So my first big important job of 2025 at work, I'm a maintenance man, was to lower the flags to half staff in honor of Jimmy Carter. And he was the president of the United States, you know, pretty big deal. Before that, he was the governor of Georgia. And that's when my dad met him. In 1970, my dad was working as an electrician, and he got the call on his heart during a revival to go become a preacher, a minister of the Word of God. So he packed his family up. He had 3 boys, myself and my 2 brothers. He packed us up, my mother, in the old Plymouth Fury, and we trekked the 700 miles down to Georgia, Toccoa Falls, Georgia. That's right, where my dad went to seminary at Toccoa Falls College. And that was where he met a young, aspiring politician. His name was Jimmy Carter. He used to go to college a lot when he was running to be the governor of Georgia. And the next year, holy crap, he won. And a peanut farmer from Georgia became the governor of Georgia. And my dad, the whole time he was going to college, you know, he kind of popped his chest out because now he was an older student at the college. So of course, you know, I don't know, he kind of stood out. And I suppose maybe that's why Jimmy talked to him a lot. He came to the college a lot, and he talked to my dad. Dad was all proud of himself, you know. He knew the governor of Georgia. Well then, a few years later, in 76, Jimmy decides to be the president of the whole United States. Holy crap. So my dad, he's like, holy crap. Even though he was a Democrat, he was the first Democrat that my dad voted for. Now by this time, Dad's a preacher, but he's gonna vote for Jimmy Carter to be the president of the United States. Sure as crap, he won. So my dad knew the president of the United States. I mean, holy mackerel. I mean, don't get me wrong, they weren't friends or anything, you know. No big deal, just a college student that Jimmy talked to once in a while when he went to Toccoa Falls. So, but the next 4 years didn't go too good for Jimmy Carter. And you know, I mean, there were problems. You think the economy's bad now? Holy crap, you can't even imagine what was going on. I mean, interest rates were double digit. I mean, you're talking 18, 19, pushing 20% in some cases for mortgages. And if you went to buy a car, same thing. I mean, you couldn't buy nothing. You couldn't do anything. And it was bad. You couldn't get gasoline. If you wanted to travel, good luck. Because when you got there, you might not be able to buy gasoline. There was shortages. And they were rationing it. Yeah, believe it or not, they were rationing gasoline. You couldn't get it no matter how much money you had. And then Jimmy, one of the craziest things he did, he had these fireside chats where he would sit beside his great big old fireplace, okay? Now picture this. Here's this rich peanut farmer from Georgia, and he would sit beside this fireplace. Okay, he's sitting there and he would tell the American people, he said, now we got a shortage of natural gas and oil, so you got to turn down your thermostat. That's right, this nut told people, I'm sorry Jimmy, he told people, he said, you got to turn down your thermostat. He said, during the day I want you to turn them down to 65 degrees, and at night I want you to turn the thermostat down to 60. Let me tell you, you better have a warm woman or you better have yourself a heating blanket, okay? Because 60 degrees, let me tell you, a house gets pretty freaking cold at 60 degrees. So needless to say, that did not go over very well, especially with the Republicans up here up north. And so when he ran for re-election, you can guess what happened. Ronald Reagan, they shouldn't have even held an election. They should have just put Reagan in the White House. Because let me tell you, poor Jimmy. My daddy always said he was the nicest man to ever be the president and the worst president. Maybe there's a story in there somewhere. But so what ended up happening, Jimmy had to go back to Georgia. And of course he became a great humanitarian, and he built houses for poor people, and just an awesome guy. I mean, he was a good guy, but holy crap was he a lousy president. But now my dad has since passed away, and of course Jimmy just did. And I hope that maybe he's a good enough guy, he'll shake my dad's hand up in heaven too. And maybe they'll talk about old times and how things could have been, huh? Maybe they can solve some problems up there. But that's my story of Jimmy Carter. I never got to meet him personally, but my dad, he saw him a couple times down there at the college. I hope you like this little story, and be sure and subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the like button down there just to make an old guy feel better. And I'll catch you on the next one. This is Ed's Weekend Adventures signing off. Bye-bye.